Hello, 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 Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious. My name is Renee Garcia, guys, and this is TransurfingTV. And today on TransurfingTV, I'm going to wrap up my little 3-part series on the alternatives flow. If you have missed the previous 2 videos, go back and take a look so you can have a little more of a comprehensive approach to this concept. I discussed giving into the flow in the original starting video. The second one was guiding signs and my take on guiding signs. And today is letting go, which is so pertinent to releasing to the alternatives flow. I know this, it took me a long time to really detach myself from some old habits, some old patterns, really starting to understand the value in not only letting myself get taken by the flow, but letting go of trying to I have this vision of a river sort of taking me along. And in the beginning of my transurfing practice, I'm trying to grab onto branches and, debris on the edge of the river to hold on because I don't want to go with the flow. And it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad because, a lot of times, and I've seen this so much with people that come to this modality really, in a state of turmoil and not being happy with their self and their lives, their reality, that a lot of times these patterns that we continue to perpetuate in our lives are simply to reinforce our belief that we're right and we've got it figured out when we know we don't, especially when we're crawling to reality transurfing in a sad state of affairs, help me and we still don't want to let go because it's hard to admit that you haven't been doing things the right way, right? It's hard to admit when you've spent, 30, 40 years of your life using inner intention and fighting with your reality, fighting with yourself, fighting with others. So a lot of what I'm going to speak to today is about taking the hit and being okay, I acted like a fucking idiot. I know I did. I know I use inner intention. I know I had too much importance. I know I've held on to faulty beliefs. I know I've held on to operating in ways that haven't served me in my life, in my layer of reality, with my endeavors. And I'm ready to give it up because I have to give it up first in order to really accept the new way. And this is exactly what I'm going to talk about today. Before I get started, remember to like this video and comment and subscribe. All the course links below. Join us on the Facebook group, the International Transurfing Institute Facebook group. And follow me on Instagram, reality_transurfing. So all the links are below. I will also put them in the comments. So letting go. And by the way, if you are really in a place where you understand that you have held on in way too many ways in your life that have been detrimental to you and your goals and your relationships and all the different aspects of your reality, I highly suggest David Hawkins, Dr. David Hawkins' book, Letting Go. It is a powerful, powerful book in understanding the exact reasons why you have not let go and why you continue to hold on to things. And it's so simple once you realize it. It's earth-shattering, it's reality-shattering, it's mind-bending, that you can take back your positive trajectory by acknowledging what sometimes is just a little bit of information or a little bit of fear that has grown into some big, massive, destructive force that has wreaked havoc on your life. Powerful book and highly recommend it. But I will go into this a little bit that is more on the transurfing tip, and give you my breakdown after I read a few paragraphs. Okay, so letting go. The existence of streams in the alternatives flow can potentially free the mind of two overwhelming burdens: the need to solve problems rationally and the need to control. That is, if the mind will allow itself to be freed. The mind will require a more or less rational explanation to be comfortable enough to let go. As you may have noticed, quite a lot of what is described in this book is irrational, which is why, although it is not the purpose of transurfing to offer a description of the structure of the universe, I try to validate the conclusions I have drawn that would otherwise be difficult for the mind to accept. Providing an explanation the mind can accept, it is actually essential, because the mind will not take anything on faith, and it is extremely difficult to shake the monolith of common sense. The mind demands proof and circumstantiation, which you can provide yourself if you try putting the principles of transurfing into practice. I offer a couple of feasible explanations here to soothe the incredulous mind, for if I did not, the reader would be unlikely to try out the transurfing principles or read any further. And this is just the beginning. Many exciting revelations lie ahead. The burdens of the mind are placed on us in childhood. As children, we are constantly being reprimanded. Think with your head. Do you realize what you are doing? Explain yourself. Do your homework. You won't get anywhere in life without a brain. Don't be so stupid. Will you ever learn? Teachers and circumstances sculpt a soldier from our minds, ready at any moment to produce an explanation, give an answer to a question, assess a situation, make a decision, and control those around us. The mind is trained to act in a practical manner based on common sense. I am not presumptuous enough to advocate getting rid of common sense altogether. Quite the opposite. Common sense provides us with a minimal set of rules on how to behave in life in order to survive. The mistake of the mind is that it follows the behavioral code too literally. An obsession with common sense prevents the mind from opening up, looking around, and noticing all the things that do not fit the rules. There are many things in the world that are inconsistent with common sense. The rational mind is incapable of explaining all the phenomenon we witness in the world. Neither is it very good at protecting a person from experiencing problems and disappointment. However, relying on the stream in the alternatives flow can compensate for the limitations of the mind. The justification for doing so is very simple. There is purposefulness to the streams in the alternatives flow, and this is a quality the mind seeks. As we have said before, the streams take the route of least resistance. The mind strives to reason sensibly and logically, relying on the principles of cause and effect, but the imperfections of the mind prevent it from navigating correctly in the external world and finding the one prime solution to any given problem. Nature is in essence perfect, and so the streams of the alternatives flow have more purposefulness and logic than the wisest reasoning mind. However convinced the mind is that it reasons clearly, it will still be prone to making mistakes. The mind would make fewer mistakes if it did not try so hard to get involved and allow problems to resolve themselves. When you let go of the situation and relax your controlling grip, you allow the world around you more freedom and the flow can take its own course. Oh my God, I so love this. I so love this. And as I suggested in my previous video about me having more energy to do all the things that I'm doing right now because I'm not battling with my world trying to find solutions to my problems. I'm acknowledging challenges that I have and I'm letting the solutions come to me. Again, this frees me up to do all kinds of stuff, right? I'm doing my videos, I'm learning how to fly an airplane, I'm writing a book, I'm doing all these different things that I do with my time because I'm not being consumed by my problems. Now, here's the challenging part for most people. And this was indeed the challenging part for me as well in the beginning, is letting go. Letting go that I don't know the way. And Vadim touched on it here. And it's so true because when we're young, just as he said, we have all of this programming embedded that we need to think and be on our toes and you've got to do this or you'll fail, or, you know, what are you doing? You know, use your head and all of these ideas that essentially pile on the burden of needing to figure it all out on to the individual. And we carry this burden, we spend all of our energy trying to solve problems that we perceive as having, and then we go into a mode where this becomes the normal thing. So if we do happen to somehow find some resolve to our problems, we create more, because then we feel like we're not being successful or we're not doing what we need to do as a thriving individual if we're not going about trying to organize something, solve a problem, figure something out, go into this mode where we believe we are the sole key for our success or our failure. And it's a heavy burden. It's a heavy burden to carry. I broke myself. Operating in this mode, trying to climb out of poverty mentality, trying to climb out of poverty. It wasn't that I was trying to climb out of poverty mentality. I was working out of poverty mentality in the direction of success in the only way that I could imagine. And that was me operating in this exact mode that I was just referring to. And it did indeed break me. And this was enough. So Vadim talked about here that we need to provide the mind some information so it will feel safe in letting go. And this was my information. This broken version of me that, yeah, I had a couple of bucks, I had some money, but what did I have to do to get it? Where did I have to go? What sort of hell did I have to put myself through? And I was not happy. So this was enough information for me to understand not only the value in letting go, but the utmost importance in letting go. And I use that term importance very, very seldom, but in this exact scenario, it was important for me to absolutely let go. So what this looked like me surrendering. I was waving the red flag or the white flag to my reality, right? I'm like, I surrender. Truce. Truce. So I surrendered. I waved the white flag. I opened myself up. Okay, this was not working. I never want to have to go back to this modus operandi ever again. I am going to have to let go of a number of things now in order for me to turn away from this version of myself and this version of my reality and embark on a new adventure and a new journey with reality transurfing. So the first thing that I had to let go of my conventional approach to dealing with problems and my conventional approach to reality. There are no problems. Everything is working for my benefit. I need to let go, raise my level of awareness, open myself up to solutions, to challenges, and trust that I don't need to try to do anything. I don't need to force anything. I don't need to force myself. I don't need to try to make something happen. I just need to trust that my world is going to deliver to me exactly what it is that I need in the right time, and me putting myself in that position is the exact way in which this reality actually works, happens. Everything switches over to this new mode. So the other thing that I need to let go of is this idea that my energy needs to be used for specific things in my life. I make certain now, and this is probably the biggest, most valuable divide in how I used to operate and how I operate today. My energy is used for creativity and making certain that my sight is set on that end goal or intention, period, and answering the calls that are placed to me by my external environment to pump something full of energy that is going to help my boat get to its final destination. Everything else falls by the wayside. I'm not going to spend energy arguing with people, arguing with my reality, fighting anything, doing anything that is expending large amounts of my energy in any direction other than creative and my intentions. Period. I let my reality take care of the rest. Now, this is the ultimate feat in letting go. And if you are challenged to understand what it is I'm talking about right now, or trusting that this is right for you, all I would challenge you to do is the next time you don't know what to do, the next time you perceive a problem in your life, in your reality, call to mind this video, take a step back, and just watch your world solve it, or your world point you in the right direction. And in seeing this small example of your world coming to your aid and solving the problem for you, this will help you a little bit more to know that it's okay to let go. Let go of conventional reality, let go to your old modus operandi, let go of your ideas of your life and how things get accomplished and all that stuff. Because once you do let go, then you are going with the flow. So let me know what you think of this video, you guys. Kind of an intense one, right? Letting go is sort of intense because it is going from you thinking you've got it all figured out, you know what to do, you've got all the answers, to trusting your world and letting your world take care of the heavy lifting. So let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.